I like sucking, but I ain't gay.
Legit bad podcast.
Fuck those honkies.
Big ass.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
He really knows how to suck a wiener.
All right, we are live. So it says, hello. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these. Life gets in the way, and I don't have time to look up dumb news for your entertainment. Sorry. Hang on, let me pull up my shit here. Okay, so we got a special guest, Joe from OBDM, and if you listen to Legit Bat, you know we're a huge fan of the show. And we've had Mike on, still plan on getting Cretchet on, but for tonight we got Joe joining in all the way from wherever you are. Are you in Texas right now still, or
San Antonio? And yes, hello. It's nice to see y'all again. You guys came on the show, what was it, about a month and a half ago?
something like that?
Yeah.
Super fun
nice,
time.
yeah.
Even though it was 9 o'clock in the morning our time, it was still awesome.
It was hard. I felt like a deer in headlights on your show because it's one of my favorite shows ever. And it was morning time for us. We weren't drinking. We were just thrown off. I was at least.
Very thrown off not being drunk on the show.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever go tailgating?
Yeah, I have, yes.
Not
Yeah.
recently, but we have.
Because, I mean, if you're doing a show that early, you're allowed to drink. Because I remember when we went tailgating, it was always like, wait, there's a whole thing that people just go out and drink at 7 a.m. Sign me up.
Oh, yeah. We would have had to get up at 7 a.m. though. We basically got up, got ready, and got on the show. So we didn't have time to get drunk. We would have had to set our alarms to get drunk. And I would have felt really bad about myself.
Well, I'm also getting old though, so the thought of drinking at 7 in the morning like makes me hungover just thinking about it. Like it's like, like I start drinking at 2, and that's a bit too early because it's like by the time I'm done, it's midnight, and I've been shit faced for like 9 hours, so it hurts too much.
The trick to not having hangovers is to never stop drinking. I learned this a long time ago.
That is true, but unfortunately, I have a job where I have to drive, and they look down on that for some reason. You know, being shit faced at work. Yeah.
I thought this was America.
Yeah. I thought I'd make you feel more at home. I don't usually play this one that much because it's Mike's thing, but I do have my own soundboard. I think I called in one time to the show and told you how I record my own farts. So I actually do. I have several of my own farts I like to stick in the middle of written words. Oh, dog.
Yeah. I guess
Does he do that all the time on the show?
She rarely does it. No. I think she's excited to have me on too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, if she jumps up, put her on screen. My cat shows up sometimes, so fuck it.
Every time I get on a Zoom call for work, our female dog starts humping her blanket in the background every time.
That's hot.
Yeah.
She's a weird dog.
This one, she used to do that a lot too when she's a puppy. It's like, how do girl dogs like humping so much? And I'm pretty sure it's just a dominance thing, but it's the weirdest thing to see some chick dog, just like going in.
I know, because I was like, she's fixed. And if she was going to, get some, it wouldn't go down like that. She would be the blanket. She doesn't even know.
She would be the receptacle. Yes.
I'm pretty sure my dog is a lesbian, though.
I mean, it makes sense.
Well, what up, retarded faggots?
All right. So Joe's never been on the show. Obviously, people who watch this know what we do on this show, but it's just kind of a dumb news wrap up. I just find the dumbest fucking articles I can about that showcases the retardation of the current world we live in. So this first one here, and I want Joe's opinion on this guy as a gay. Oh, hello, Freud. As a gay, what do you think of what do you think of this dude? Like, is this something that like, is that awesome or just like disgusting? Because it's disgusting to almost everybody I know.
Yeah, okay. It's absolutely. I mean, it's like mutant level. Like I would almost believe if you said it was fake, I'd believe that. I have no idea what this. What the hell is he doing to get that? And at what point do you stop?
I know that this is the weird thing is like, is it for him? It has to be for him because the size and shape of this dude's body is so fucking wildly gross that I don't know any single female that's like, yes, give me that. And that's why I wanted your opinion. I don't know any single dude that's also like, Yes, that's for me. Like, it looks like you would die if you tried to bang him. Like, he would just crush you to death.
Yeah, but at least you'd have a set of knockers you could grab if you were not gay. Wait,
he's got bigger tits than Jen, and she's packing a great rack. Like,
yeah, that's like Dolly Parton level. But I mean, this is clearly the most unnatural thing. Whatever the guy's doing, he should have stopped 10 years ago.
So this is what he's doing. It's a man who injects oil into his muscles, isn't planning on stopping anytime soon. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Oh, God. Yeah, we got to look at... Okay, so he's foreign, so he's Brazilian, it says.
These ads are about to piss me the fuck off. All right, so Brazilian Valdir Sagado has amassed a huge following on social media where videos of him flaunting his unusual physique have racked up millions of views. Maybe he's just doing it for internet popularity. That's also a thing that happens now. So as you can probably tell, to get in this shape required some artificial intervention, which you absolutely should not try at home. He's been using synthol injections for several years to pump up his muscles, despite the warnings that it increases the risk of stroke, infections, abscesses, and even amputation.
Hashtag worth it.
Right, yeah. He has 1.7 million followers on TikTok, if you can believe TikTok numbers. Said he was influenced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, hang on, I got a drop for that.
It's not a tumor.
So he was influenced by Arnold.
It looks like tumors.
Right. And he is nicknamed locally as the Monster while out and about in Sao Paulo, something which he's pretty pleased about. And while he hasn't injected oil for a while, he certainly hasn't ruled out doing it again. So he's not actually that buff. It's just fucking oil. Like,
that's
he's not strong.
Really bad image right there.
He's also got a wicked fucking farmer's tan. Like, look at the line on his arm. His tits are white as shit, even for a brown guy.
Jesus.
He's probably not allowed to take his shirt off in public because it looks too much like tits.
Yeah, that's pornographic at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, in a weird sci-fi way. So he says, who knows? I would think about making my breasts bigger. So if you're watching the video, you can see they do not need to be any fucking bigger. He called them breasts. He didn't say pecs. He said breasts.
Could have been a translation thing, but I got to say that those are at least volleyball size, if not basketball.
It is heinous.
It is very heinous. People don't say that word enough.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's underrated. Heinous. I need to look up synonyms for heinous. Oh, he said, the doctors tell me to stop it. The advice they give me is to stop using, but it's my decision to use it because I want to, because I like to. So yeah, it's just for him. It doesn't say whether he's like married or looking or on the market. He says in his youth he was a drug addict, which resulted in massive weight loss and the unflattering nickname Skinny Dog. So he went 180 the other way with it and was like, you know what? Fuck you, bitches.
Still an addict. Yeah, he's just a different kind of addict.
He just swapped it out for something way the fuck weirder. You should probably just do heroin instead.
After packing in the drugs, he started hitting the gym, but quickly realized that the cartoonish results he was aiming for couldn't be bought from just healthy eating and smashing the weights.
Oh my
God.
You know,
just shoot some oil.
Yeah, it does.
So gross.
Still, I don't see anything about whether he's married or not.
What was the oil again? What was the kind of oil?
I don't even know if it said what kind of oil. Let me see.
Yeah, it did. I thought it was.
I skipped a couple parts of it because I wanted to get to the pictures of his tits. It's probably soybean oil or something.
Yeah, soy oil. It's rendered pork fat.
It doesn't. It has a video, but I'm not about to watch a video of this dude.
I was kind of curious about the video.
Okay, we can try.
Just at least a little. You might as well. If you got the viewers for it. Let's just see how this all moves. You're probably gonna get ads like crazy. This website looks like a.
Oh, look at that.
Oh wait, went right in. Oh God.
He's like flexing like they're actual muscles.
You're not impressing anybody. This is bizarre. He has to like lift his tits up. You see what he's doing? It's crazy.
Oh yeah. No, this dude definitely has problems.
Yeah, I knew a guy when I was young, another gay dude. He had a similar body, not as like extreme, but he used to work out just his chest, shoulders, and arms, and it was like two toothpicks under like this ripped dude, and you're like,
Yeah, well, that's kind of what day, man. That's kind of what he looks like with his forearms. Like he has zero forearm. I have bigger forearms than this dude.
Totally. Yeah. It's skinny. Like whatever he's doing it clearly wrong.
He's
really
mad. He looks like he's happy. I mean, it looks like a great apartment he's in. Like he looks like he's doing well for himself.
I hope so.
Yeah.
He
Good
can
luck to
afford
this
the
guy.
oil. Yeah, best of luck to you, dude.
I wonder what his shits are like, you know, like injecting that much oil into yourself. You got to imagine
They gotta be oily.
Oily shits like a. That was not an oily shit. This is an oily shit. Yep, that one's oily.
Those are like guessing games. Those kinds of parts.
We can speculate about these all day. So this is another person with obvious mental problems. The quote, black alien is considering having leg amputated after slicing off his ears and lips.
Oh, and his nose? He cut off his nose?
Oh, he got a Michael Jackson done on his nose.
Yeah. Ooh.
Michael Jackson approved. So a man who's transforming himself into a black alien has revealed he's debating chopping off part of his leg too. Anthony Lafredo has been undergoing multiple tattoo sessions and body modifications in a bid to find happiness in looking like a black alien. From getting 2 fingers sliced off to the top lip removed, his top lip removed, and tattooing the majority of his body in black ink, Lafredo has been modifying his body since the age of 27. While it may seem like he doesn't appear to be far of his goal, maybe off, Lafredo has opened up about what other procedures could be in store for the future. So this is what he looks like right now. He's going hard he's leaning into the alien thing. Like he succeeded. He's actually succeeded better than the last dude with his muscles.
Yeah, if it was coming down the sidewalk, you'd be like, oh, look, an alien.
Yeah. What do you think of this kind of thing? I mean, this goes beyond the trans thing. Like I hear you going off about that stuff and everybody goes off about the trans thing, but this is way beyond just cutting your ding dong off and folding it inside out so you have a fuck hole.
It's not that much different. It's some kind of a weird obsession that you're imperfect in the way that you are. And I just don't see why. Like this is another reason where it's like, if you're not happy, I don't know that this is going to solve it, because obviously you go one step further. I bet I'll be happy when this happens, which is we all fall into that trap. I bet I'll be happy when I graduate high school. I bet I'll be happy when I get out of college, when I get married, all this stuff. But then that delayed gratification, is in your head as though it's a punishment, when really it's the process of, understanding that you may not be happy all the time. And I feel like like the other guy was on drugs. Okay. He was happy when he was on the drugs. Then he was doing the muscle thing. He's probably happy when he does the muscle thing. I would imagine it's very similar with this one, but fine. Yeah. Who am I to say? Go for it.
No. Yeah. It's some particular brand of mental illness that's happening. And I don't understand it, but I mean, if that's what they want to do, knock yourself out. Like a lot of these people that do this shit though, a couple years into it, they're like, oh man, I've really fucked up. Like I've really screwed the pooch here. I mean, look at my face. I don't have that sound drop, but I wish I did. Look at that face. Yeah.
You might not care though. It's definitely an identity disorder, and not everybody, but a lot of people go through that just in a less extreme way. Like you were saying, Joe, you could get tons of plastic surgery and turn yourself into a beautiful person, but that doesn't mean you're still going to find happiness.
We've done those stories on the human Barbie and Ken. And I mean, that's extreme, but at least it doesn't look like this. But
this is what he wants to look like. It doesn't matter. Whatever people think they need to look like, instead of forgetting about what you look like and thinking and going inside yourself and being okay with yourself. That's what people don't want to do. That's way harder. They can just change what's on the outside.
I think there's something to that. Yeah, the superficial aspects of it. When I was growing up, and I don't mean to be offensive to anybody, but when people did these, I always am. But when people do these extreme superficial things with their clothes or their piercings and their tattoos, like I have no problem with people doing that. But I've always been like jeans and a t-shirt kind of guy. Like I don't want my clothes or my hair or my whatever this is happening. Like I don't want that to speak for who I am. And I think that they've deferred all of their personality into this image. Be curious, I would love if, and I'll be your server tonight. You know what I mean? Like, how does this person, like, could you imagine if that's a server at Chacho's?
Yeah. It's a giant fuck you to a job with benefits, because I don't know. I mean, is he going to be a CEO of Apple one day? Probably not.
He's a paralegal.
Well, nobody really sees those people, right? They're just kind of stuck in an office all day. So
he works the desk at Sheraton.
Hey, that's
he's a flight attendant. Flight attendant would be perfect for this guy.
The hotel thing, that might be a niche thing. Like, he could probably find a place in Vegas that has that kind of theme going on, and he's just part of the crew there. You know, everybody looks a little off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I'm saying in about 5 years he's going to be regretting stuff.
Not so funny now, is it?
Yeah, probably not.
Well, that's you talk about the trans thing. One of the things. Oh, that's a cool picture of him out there. So he's in Mexico. Is he a Mexican?
Tulum, Mexico. Looks like it.
Yeah, I've been to Tulum.
He's very tattooed.
It's actually, I mean, I would say that this is more interesting than the other guy, but yeah, it's one of those things where this feels more like art, where the other one feels like I need attention, but they're both kind of in that same area.
I'm pretty sure most artists, you know, especially modern art, I think they're a little bit mentally unstable. If you've ever seen any modern art, it's not the classic definition of art as most people think of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is all subjective. Well, one thing I was going to say, going back to the trans thing and having problems down the road. Yes, I wonder biologically what this does to the body from a medical perspective. But when people talk about you're encouraging violence against trans, one thing that from what I can tell and what I've seen, people talk about trans killing themselves, not because they're not being seen, but because they regret it. This is why you see books of people who have gone through the procedures and then they write these books and try to come back, and they it's one of their biggest regrets. And a lot of them, they start to regret it because they get to a point where it's like, I thought that this, if I chop my tits off or my donger, if I got rid of them, I'd be happy. And then when they're not, it's this same thing. Like, I thought if I did all these drugs, I'd be happy. And then I, almost died. So then I thought if I'd be muscular, I'd be happy. And I don't know how happy that person is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, happiness is probably pretty subjective to people, but I can tell you one thing, not cutting my donger off and doing drugs, pretty happy fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah, I much prefer the donger on, and I imagine you'd prefer your tits there too.
I do, as much as they're not near as attractive and they're very hairy, but I prefer them to be there. And I would assume you prefer your tits to be there?
Yeah, sure. Even if I wanted to be a dude, I would still, I don't know, still be happy with my own self and be like, maybe next life. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm not going to staple a fucking plastic piece on there and be like, look, I'm a dude now.
I'm in a Telegram with one of the subreddits. It's like a private subreddit. And they were posting pictures of male to female and female to male sort of nudes. And good God.
Train wreck.
I'm sure it's like art, some people are really good at it. Some people are really bad at it. But what I was seeing, especially female to male, was like, oh my God, this is not going to pass for anyone. And you remember the trans people were like, well, if you don't want to sleep with a trans person, then you're transphobic. And it's like, I don't know, man.
I just want a dick to look like a dick and function.
Well, I was going to say, as somebody who appreciates the nude male form, that's got to be unsettling for you to see that, because you're like, this is not, it's the uncanny valley of dudes. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Do the balls have to bounce? Like, what's going on?
It looked like a poorly wrapped like sausage, like the casing, like the casing was not uniformly packed.
All lumpy. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It was really bad.
There definitely is an art to attaching a wiener to somebody.
Have you seen my wiener?
Right. So the next one's right up legit Bat Planet Retard Alley. Thanks, Jen, for sending me this one. So Harry Potter actor says, quote, rude Arnold Schwarzenegger farted in her face on set. He did it deliberately. I imagine he did. He's kind of gross. So Harry Potter actor Miriam Margolyes revealed on the I've Got News for You podcast that she disliked working with Arnold on the 1999 supernatural action movie End of Days. Schwarzenegger allegedly farted on Margolies' face in between filming takes. She said Schwarzenegger deliberately did it, and she still hasn't forgiven him. He's a bit too full of himself, and I don't care for him at all. He's a Republican, which I don't like.
Like, they had to throw that in
Right,
there. It's
yeah.
about farting, dude. We don't have to talk about what fucking political party he associates
She
with.
says, he was actually quite rude. He farted in my face. Now, I fart, of course, I do, but I don't fart in people's faces. He did it deliberately right in my face, which to that I say, because fuck this bitch. I don't even know her.
That's boring.
She said I was playing Satan's sister and he was killing me. So he had me in a position where I couldn't escape and lying on the floor, and he just farted. It wasn't on film. It was just in one of the pauses, but I hadn't forgiven him.
But he couldn't get up. It was in between takes. I actually feel for the guy. It's not like he squatted down and was like, fuck you. He was probably maybe standing up after they stopped filming and then accidentally farted. I don't know.
Maybe he just eaten a crazy amount of Taco Bell right before and didn't know his face or his butt was going to be in that position.
Ow! Yeah, I remember if you guys had to do physical challenge type stuff in school, like when I was coming up, they made you do you have to do so many push-ups and everything. And it was so funny when you had to do a certain amount of sit-ups and all the farts you would hear going around the room.
And it was in rhythm too, because you'd be doing a sit-up and it's like,
and someone always had to hold that person's legs. There was always someone holding the legs.
Other people's farts. Gross. Oh, so continuing with the whole trans fucking theme tonight. New Jersey trans prisoner. This is a continuation, I believe, of a story that a lot of people covered about the trans inmate that impregnated a bunch of people. So the New Jersey trans prisoner who impregnated 2 inmates transferred to men's facility. Demi Minor, which is the lesser version of Demi Moore, has been transferred from New Jersey's only women's prison to the vulnerable housing unit at a men's facility. Oh fuck, I gotta zoom in again. This is very small. So a transgender inmate has been transferred out of the only women's prison in New Jersey after impregnating 2 female inmates.
What the fuck did they think would happen?
He, she, it, whatever, has been moved to the vulnerable housing unit at the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility, a prison for young adults aged 18 to 30. Dan Sperazza confirmed, New Jersey Department of Correction spokesman, that there are 3 trans women housed in the youth facility's vulnerable housing unit, though the prison's general population only houses men. So they're having to create this extra space for these people so that they don't have to worry about them fucking the holes of other people and making them pregnant or something.
It would be fine if
This
they
gets
were
confusing.
fucking, because there's gay sex in prison all the time, and I'm on both sides, men and women. But when you have a dude who identifies as a woman in a woman's only facility, some bitches are going to get pregnant, and that's just creating more people who are going to have to go into the system because they don't have parents who can take care of them because both parents are fucking incarcerated.
That's
yeah.
But
That's
and
a
you know what
huge
this means
problem.
too is that this dude identified as a female, went to a female's prison, but he apparently still had his twig and the berries. The berries were still there producing sperm, and he impregnated people. So that's the very definition of being a dude or a guy, like Mike would say, is that he was able to do that. I know 100% that Jen cannot impregnate me no matter how hard she tries, and I encourage it, but never once has she impregnated me.
I've never done it.
Come on, Jen.
I
Bring your
know.
A game.
Program.
So what do you think about that whole thing with the jail thing? I think it's just going to get wilder because there's going to be more of these stories and more weird things that happen when trans people go to prison.
There's going to have to be a trans unit. There has to be a separate area to let people be themselves and also not impregnate people.
You're going to have
I
people
could
fucking
see
all
that.
kinds of weird holes.
And not get killed either, because I mean, if a man is transitioning to a woman, okay, that's one thing. But if a woman's transitioning to a man and then she goes into a men's only facility, she might get her ass handed to her in more ways than
Quite
one.
literally, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see, diagrams, charts, whatever, of what the rate of trans people, because I know now it's like growing at this exponential rate because it's being forced down people's throats, and you want to be trendy. Like California has this like higher rate than Ohio, as we talked about on a show like a week ago or whatever. But like country by country, what does that look like? Because this is mostly cultural, I believe. And the fact that we have to figure out that, we need prisons to accommodate for trans folks is, it's kind of psychotic. Because, when the Republicans were like, it's a slippery slope if you let, gay marriage through, and everyone was like, oh, come on, we just want to be like you. And it's like, you see what we were saying? And they don't see. And they're never going to be done. Hey, when is the last time they ever said, all right, we finally got our gay marriage, now we're done? They're never going to do it. They're just going to keep going.
Yep. It's moving the goalposts. I think I've heard a lot of people talk about that the problem with the progressive agenda is that there's never any ending to it because they thrive on the victim culture. So all they're going to do is find some other way to play the victim and then move the goalpost over there and be like, well, now we need this. It's never going to end until people start just not paying attention to it anymore. Like, I don't see any other way. Just ignore it. No. Stop giving these people fucking time in the news like we are.
They're the loudest ones. Yeah. Leah Thomas, Woman of the Year with NCAA. And, it's obviously causing more problems than it's benefiting. Right. And if you want to cite trans people killing themselves at higher rates, point out that it's not because they're not being seen by the public. Most people are like, whatever, chop your fucking whatever off. You know what I mean? Like, most people don't care. They don't obsess over it. They don't fall asleep thinking about it. They don't wake up thinking about it. They don't see it on TV. I mean, some of us will look at those folks that we just looked at and be like, oh God. And then by the time it's over, you're like, who cares? There are probably people who are hateful. They're hateful towards everybody. But clearly, all of this shit getting pushed hasn't helped. It's just created more division.
Yeah. And we could argue that that's
you're fine.
Part of the fucking agenda too.
Well, think of all the people who aren't seen and they're depressed and they don't have an identity issue necessarily with their sexuality or their gender. They're just not seen for some other reason and they're depressed and they kill themselves too. The solution is more of a therapeutic solution rather than, okay, let's make this a cosmetic surgery type thing, or let's go out there. It's not as out there. I guess the solutions are very different for other people who have depressing issues.
Yeah, it's probably not a one size fits all for all these folks.
Right.
I would say therapy. I know my dad has a psychology degree. He's an asshole, but he thinks that therapy is for pussies. It's like, dude, you have a bachelor's degree in psychology. Like, what did they teach you? That if you go to a therapist, you're a bitch? You know what I mean? Like, that's how he feels about it. But he comes from a generation where John Wayne, was a role model and you just punch your way out of all your problems if you're a dude. But I hear you, Jen. Like, it's really one of those things. Like, who's really unseen? The people who aren't screaming out for attention in these bizarre ways that have all of a sudden become culturally acceptable. It's the people who are, I would say cutters, because they try to hide it under sleeves, but they still want to feel this pain. I don't understand the cutting thing. That wasn't a thing when I was growing up.
Nope.
So.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. But most people who feel the same way that that a lot of the people in the trans community, I'm not trying to generalize, but a majority of them are saying, I just want to be seen. I just want to be heard. I just want to be me. So does everybody. And there's therapy for that. And it might help them feel comfortable in their own body and in their own skin and be the best person they can be without destroying themselves with chemicals that change their hormones or some sort of cosmetic surgery that chops off organs they were born with. Nuts.
Can you hear that train?
Yeah, you got a train going on there.
Fuck off.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not your fault. All right, let's move on to crooked lines. This is perfect fodder for Planet Retard too. Yeah, crooked road lines painted on California road baffle residents.
I work with retards.
So this, I guess we only do this on video now, so everybody can see the picture. But the mayor of a California city said an error by contractors was responsible for the zigzagging lanes, okay, on a city road that left some residents scratching their heads. Hollister residents lit up social media with photos and videos showing the bizarre pattern of the lines painted recently on Ladd Lane. The yellow lines in the center of the road and the white lines at the shoulders were painted in a zigzag pattern instead of a typical straight line. So it came down to the contractor, fine. But how does this happen as a contractor? Like, they didn't
who doesn't make a phone call?
They didn't look at the plans and like, are you sure this is what you want? Like, look at it.
Yeah, just like, hey, we got these plans and I see them. There might be some sort of miscommunication.
No, the contractor was like, fuck it. We'll just do what they say. We're getting paid anyway.
Ballsy.
So
I could see it. It could be a partnership between them and the police and the city government, because how do you even follow that? You could write tickets all day.
Fair.
Yeah, so I have the video muted because I don't care about hearing this.
Look at them driving.
Yeah, look at the cars driving. They're like,
they're trying to just drive straight, and they're just not in the lines because the lines are so crazy. Dude, that would be funny, crazy. Joe. Actually, for the cops to be like, "Sorry, you were swerving outside of the double yellow lines."
Yeah,
everybody's
crossing
over. Are you intoxicated, ma'am? You drove completely straight. You're supposed to zigzag right, left, right, left, right, left, right there.
Yeah,
it's the kind of retardation that keeps this show going.
Well, it's, this is. I mean, it reminds me of when I lived in Atlanta. The goddamn highway patrol would go out during rush hour to get speeders. They wouldn't do it, when it wasn't people all going to work. And then all that did was back up traffic, because it's that reflex where people see a cop slam on their brakes and then everybody behind them. So all it ended up doing was causing more trouble, more accidents and everything else. And that's what this is. It's all a fundraising opportunity. That's why I thought the first thing is like, okay, well, now the police are going to sit out there and write tickets to anyone who crosses the center lane while driving. How in the world does anybody do this? I work in design, and if a client asks me to do something and I say, well, that wouldn't be my recommendation, and they insist, I'll do it. And usually when I do it, they're like, oh shit, you're right. Let's go back to what we had. This is one of those things. Like, I don't know. Is this just how stupid California became?
I think so.
It's possible.
I mean, we live here and I have nothing great to say about it except for the weather. All right, next one. Another perfect one. Sewer cleaning project in Iowa causes toilets to overflow.
Farts are never gonna not be funny.
That was my goal with doing this. I'm like, I could play the same fart every time and it's still funny, to me at least. So residents of an Iowa city said maintenance being performed on the municipality's sanitary sewers is having an unusual side effect, causing their toilets to overflow. Locals in Johnston said their toilets have been overflowing in recent days as a result of the work being performed on the city's sewers. So Amy Darling told KCCI TV, if I didn't have my toilet seat down, it probably would have shot out. It was that much pressure and it was a humming noise. The city said on its website that
sure, Amy,
that residents should keep toilet. She's just taking a shit. She's like, yeah, the toilet's like going
Imagine
crazy.
Being
So that's gross though, because like if toilet water is nasty enough, but like if there's actual poo in there and then it does that, like I would be sue everybody, like sue everyone.
So what is the population of this town? Because there had to be at least one person sitting on the shitter when the toilet started overflowing that just got blasted in their ass.
Free bidet.
I want to hear those stories. Yeah. Free bidet. It's a little shitty, but it might clean your butt a little.
Well, Joe, we told you we'd get you out of here in 20 to 30 minutes. We got 2 more real quick here, and then
you're fine. No, I'm having fun.
Okay.
This is good.
So I thought this was hilarious just because it's Putin. I hate these ads so much. Hang on. I'm trying to get rid of this. All right. So
would an ad blocker stop it, or does it like it's always like you need to disable ads?
It's because of the sites we get these on. It's like Sky and Mirror. They just are full of ads. I just read around them. So Putin says, this is the headline. Putin says Western leaders would look disgusting topless after they mock his shirtless pictures.
I loved this. I love this one.
I know, it's great because you know those pictures of him like riding a bear topless and shit, like a gangster.
Yeah.
So Boris Johnson, who, I mean, this is from June 30th. That's probably why I think he stepped down since then. But it says Boris Johnson joked that G7 leaders could take their clothes off to show that we're tougher than Putin amid tensions over Moscow's military action in Ukraine. Now the Russian president has responded. Vladimir Putin says Western leaders would look disgusting if they were to undress above or below the waist. Which
He's
is
not wrong.
fucking fair enough because we're fat, gross Americans. And after we took McDonald's and Starbucks out of their country, they're just going to get hotter and hotter because they're just losing weight. They're not jacking off anymore because Pornhub was like, no, you can't have that anymore. So they're just getting better and better. And we actually have a clip of Biden responding to that too.
Where's your home?
That's all he had to say. So it says the Russian leader hit back after G7 leaders poked fun at his liking of bare-chested photo ops during the summit. As they sat down for talks, Boris Johnson joked that G7 leaders could take their clothes off to show that we're tougher than Putin. Leaders should show them our pecs, he said. Canada's Justin Trudeau joined in, saying they should put on a bare-chested horseback riding display, one of the Russian leader's widely publicized athletic adventures. Oh yes, added European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Horseback riding is the best. These people are so fucking weird, I swear to God. So he said, I don't know how they wanted to get undressed above or below the waist, but it would be a disgusting sight in any case. And to that we say...
Is that him? That's Putin on a horse, though?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, sorry, but him side by side next to Boris Johnson or
Biden.
Joe Biden or Justin Trudeau. Good on you, Putin.
What is he, like 78? I don't even know how old Putin is, but he looks great for whatever his age is.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, like, whatever they're eating in Russia or doing in Russia, it's much better. Do you remember when Mitt Romney ran for president?
Yeah, that was, what,
Paul Ryan? Do you remember that photo shoot with Paul Ryan?
No.
And he was like doing arm curls because he was so proud of how he looked. Yeah, Paul Ryan did something like this. He was the only one who would have passed, I suppose, from American politician standpoint. But yeah, there was like, I don't need my politicians to be sexy. I just need them to not be stupid and, molesting children and drinking their blood.
Right. Yeah, that would be
too
nice.
much to ask.
I don't think so. Most of them are not sexy at all, and how they get into those positions without being hot is beyond me because they're definitely not smart. So I don't know.
Well, AOC, I think that was the only thing on her resume. Well, she's at least good to look at. She's dumb as a box of hammers, but who cares? We haven't cared since like the 50s.
It's unreal. All right, last one before we get the fuck out of here.
That guy that was just asking what Joe was drinking, he was probably asking what Joe is drinking, not what you're drinking.
Oh, yeah, other Joe. I'm the gayer, smaller Joe. I'm drinking Keystone. Way straighter Joe and bigger Joe is drinking margaritas.
I don't know if that makes me straighter. Beer is a straighter drink, but what I do, and I'll share the recipe. I've been sharing the recipe. I take a margarita mix, sugar-free because it's keto. And then I throw like a handful of cilantro fresh, one whole jalapeno, ice, and xanthan gum, which you see in all your foods, but it thickens it like a milkshake.
Yeah.
And then I use tahini on the rim. It's very good.
Wow. That is quite the San Antonio recipe there.
I made it up. Pulled it straight out of my ass when there wasn't any jizz.
It's the best time.
All right, so we always have to do at least one TikTok news because these people are just never-ending reservoirs of mental illness.
My husband uses it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm
not going to be able to get him off of that. Like, all of his friends are on it. So,
I mean, there's a lot of articles about TikTokers and OnlyFans people that just do weird shit, like the chick that was selling her farts and then ended up in the hospital because she ate too many beans, and then she was selling. What did she sell after that? Remember?
She sold her boob sweat.
Oh,
after
boob
that.
sweat, right? Yeah.
After she stopped selling her farts because she got sick from it, she started harvesting
boob
the
sweat.
Nectar from her breast. Is how she said it.
Ugh.
She said it real weird.
Ugh.
It was so gross. She was like, "Oh, I just put it in a jar and I just drip it out." And yeah, but it's her legit boob sweat.
So this one sells photos of her baby bump on OnlyFans and says she's the best mom. She's earning a fortune through selling snaps of her baby bump despite no longer being pregnant. The woman has schedule years worth of her pregnant. What the fuck? These are written so fucking weird. Joe, inside joke here on Planet Retard is that most of these articles are written by AI. That's Jen's theory. So,
especially the dumb ones on the Mirror.
Yeah.
And I know that I've seen people talking about how they use AI to write articles. So it's when the words don't make sense. Have you ever heard AI write rap, Joe? Have you ever heard AI rap?
Oh, it's so weird.
No, but I've seen some of this stuff, especially in the Discord where they're doing the artwork, and it's like it's getting to be kind of incredible.
It's pretty.
But I would love to hear
it's
AI
always
rap.
Weird. Just Google it.
Yeah, you
so
can find
much
it.
weird. They say weird shit. They're like, "I'll fuck a tree in my butthole mouth." Like they just put words together.
Yeah, they put
that
the
don't make
weirdest
sense.
shit together.
Oh, did Joe just leave by accident?
Oh shit!
Did he just get kicked off?
Joe, where'd you go?
Joe.
Joe.
The AI kicked him off.
Joe, where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Tracking my. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My mouse tracking, like for whatever reason, I turned the computer back on and I just got this new mouse. It's like crazy fast, and I accidentally hit the close button. I was gonna Google AI rap.
Do it. It's awesome.
You do that while I read this dumb story, and then we can get out of here. So she made a lot of money on OnlyFans, I'm assuming, before she got pregnant, which is probably also the reason she got pregnant. But she didn't want her. She made a lot of money from her pregnancy and didn't want the income to stop. So she made more content while she could and scheduled it to go live over the coming year. If you're paying to see this, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. But
she
hey,
has some under boob. The bottom boob is showing.
Okay, but
I don't know. Is that hot for guys? Or not you, Joe, but you, Joe?
No, I'm never paying.
I don't know.
I'm not paying you a nickel for that, let alone however much she's fucking making.
The people are into everything and anything. It's crazy.
I know. I had a friend who used to go to, this was a long time ago. We worked together at a for-profit school. It was a horrible job. And she, on the side, would go meet a dude in a motel, and he would just touch her feet and jerk off. And he paid her like $500.
That's some Louis C.K.
She was like
shit.
25. She was very young. So she told me she did this, and I was like, what the fuck? She's like, I make so much money doing it. People are weird. I mean, hey.
I mean, if you can capitalize on people's weirdness, then
like, I couldn't do it. I just was curious. It was odd.
So this whole article is written very strangely, but so she welcomed her little son a few months ago, but she scheduled a year's worth of erotic snaps and videos of her pregnant self. What is this child gonna think about this in like 10 years?
So she's pregnant in that picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the whole, like, this is what she does. Is
she has a social media strategy.
Hmm.
That's why she took all the pictures.
I
She's
have.
like, well, I need a post for November 3rd.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if
It's
you're
like
scheduling
logging,
shit,
like
yeah.
logging podcasts to release later when you don't have anything.
Oh my god.
She
Well,
needs a Thanksgiving one. She needs like a turkey leg in her mouth with her baby bone.
You got any closing words for us, Joe, or anything you want to plug before you get out of here?
No, this is fun. I mean, obviously, the Our Big Dumb Mouth show is where we, OBDM Pod is where we do all our things, and I'm sure that's been said on here before. I appreciate y'all having me on. It's always weird. There was a OBDM listener in town, and he wanted to take a selfie with me, and so if you can imagine, that's not something I thought would ever happen in my life, but whatever. It was cool. Fun dude to meet. And I appreciate coming on the show. You guys, you found some good stuff.
Yeah.
Right up my alley.
There's
Yeah, exactly.
no shortage of retardation out there. That's why I'm like, what are we going to call this segment? Planet Retard, because everything's so retarded. It's not hard
Dude,
to
I
find.
know.
Yeah, and we
They like
plug
it.
the show all the time because we listen to it, and a lot of our listeners listen to you guys as well. And we absolutely love your show, so we're super grateful. you came
Hopefully,
on.
I've sent a few people your guys' way because you're my
Sure.
morning ritual every Saturday. You're up
Yeah.
on my 65-inch TV in my living room, and we both sit down at
Yeah.
9 in the morning and watch you guys. So.
all
That's
Christmas,
so
or like
awesome.
during the Jingle Bingle, I caught up with every OBDM that I had missed and just blasted OBDM for. I work from home, so I wrapped all of the presents and was just listening to OBDM all day.
Oh, God.
The prank with the spooge gobbler at the end, I miss the prank so much. the Spooge Gobbler one with the WWE wrestlers or whatever.
Do you even know about that?
Do you listen to those?
That Mike tags those on to the end of the audio show. Did you know that?
I do. So I listen only to the ones that I'm not on because I hate hearing my voice.
Yeah, I don't do that
so,
either.
Yeah, I would never. You should fast forward to the end and listen to that prank because it is so funny. I started crying, laughing in my garage doing laundry. It was so good.
It's fucking fantastic. Everybody check out OBDM, Mike, Kretsch, and Joe. They're the best. It's my favorite show to watch live during the week. The only show I watch live, really. But Joe, thank you so much. We'll get you guys, get you out of here. There could be two of you, you and your dog. I don't know. All right, guys.
Just had some arm issue. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great one.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everybody watching live. I love you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Legit Bad. Please address all content grievances to gofuckyourself@yourmom.com. See you next week.